Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Flip Flop Family podcast. I'm Xylene, it's great to be here, and I just wanted to do a little thank you before we start today because I really do appreciate you listening. I appreciate you sharing and liking because it enables me and the Flip Flop family to continue talking and sharing everything that's going on in our minds and that's happening in our worlds. And from your feedback, it sounds like you're enjoying it, which makes it even more enjoyable for us to record. So how are you, lovelies? I hope you've had a brilliant bank holiday weekend. If you are also on our socials, you may know that we had a bit of a DIY weekend. It's been a while, I must admit, since we've been full on stuck into that kind of gritty hands, knees, everything, like hair a mess kind of work. And I must admit that it has totally hit me. So the project for this bank holiday weekend, which I was like super excited about, was tiling the kids' bathroom. So we did get a tiler in, which is one of the very few tradesmen that we have used during our home renovation. And that was to do our ensuite in the loft. But for the kids' bathroom, which is on the first floor, kind of the main bathroom, we got quotes for it and it's just so expensive. And because we had to get it plastered as well, there was already that cost. And it wasn't just the cost, but also I love DIY. As you can probably see from our Instagram account, the Flip Flop Prop, it is something that I've always loved. I love making things, getting my hands sort of, dirty and getting stuck in. But the renovation probably was a tad too far, and I will absolutely never learn because I've gone and done it again this time. There is DIY. Do it yourself, people who have a bit of a knack for it, a kind of jack of all trades, but they're not really a master of any. And then there's professional tradesmen. And they are around for a reason. Just before I continue, a big shout out to a tradesman. My husband is one. Benjamin is a gas engineer by trade. Doesn't always do it, but he is a gas engineer. And just a shout out to all the trades, if you're listening, or your partner's a tradesperson. I shouldn't say tradesman, let's be PC, tradesperson, a big shout out to you because it is not easy. And I say that I will learn one day and I will look at a job and say, this is too much for me, but I know I'm not going to, so I'm not even going to bother lying. I said to Ben, look, I'm going to do it. He's not a fan of tiling. He's done a bit of it, but he's not something that he enjoys. But I actually enjoy it. I did the brick slips in our extension. So we've got one whole wall that kind of has a faux brick wall. It looks like a real brick wall, but it's actually faux. And I kind of tiled that. And I did the splashback in our downstairs loo, which is a very, very small section. But I enjoyed it. And I thought, why not go ahead and do the kids' bathroom? And it is a mean feat, okay? Because the tiles for the back wall were 120 by 60 centimeters. And if we just lay this out in black and white, I am only 150 centimeters, okay? So that those tiles on the back wall were only 30 centimeters shorter than me. So he roped in my brother for day one. He helped with the big tiles and hired this wet tile cutter, which looked like it was from the 1950s. No joke. Like, it's just the worst machine ever. And it was efficient. Like, it was better than doing it by hand. And luckily we didn't break any of the big tiles as I didn't have any spares, but it's hard work. Like my shoulders, my arms, like everything is hurting. And I thought we could get it done in 3 days, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but still need to do more. So not happening, I'm afraid, but I know I'm going to have a real sense of sort of achievement at the end and I'm going to feel good, but it is hard work. And most importantly, the kind of whole premise of this podcast is time. And when you take on DIY projects, it does take time. No matter how optimistic you are, it will eat into your time, especially if you're going to do it over a weekend, which is essentially family time, isn't it? And this kind of podcast is the complete opposite to last week's, which was all about family time. And me and Ben have totally felt a bit guilty over the weekend as we haven't really done anything with the children. I mean, they had a sleepover, so they had a friend over, and they kind of have some clubs and things to do on a Saturday, but really we didn't do anything with them. And it's very rare that we get a 3-day weekend, isn't it? I mean, there's not loads of them in the year where you can actually do more than just your usual Saturday, Sunday stuff. So we felt quite bad about it. the family did get involved. Obviously, me and Ben were busy with the bathroom. Zach did lots of house stuff. So he hung up the laundry, he did the gardening, he studied, and he's got some exams to study for. And Emiliana was our in-house cook. So she cooked loads of stuff this weekend, actually. I think on 2 days she did 3 meals. So she cooked scrambled eggs for breakfast, and that was when she had the friend over. And then she did jacket potatoes for lunch. She did us a roast chicken and potatoes for dinner. And then on Monday, she did pancakes and ramen and gyozas for lunch. And then we tried to salvage the weekend, and we went out to our local sort of Indian pub for a nice Indian. And we always take card games. It'd be a bit weird to turn up to a restaurant with board games, which is kind of a bit of a tip really for you as a family if you don't already do this. But we always take a card game with us when we go for dinner. So we used to take Dobble when the kids were younger. Love a bit of Dobble, if you know what I'm talking about. Kind of a picture matching game. And we took Uno Flip, which kind of is a bit of a spin on Uno. It has another side where you can flip over the cards and has different colours and different rules. So we took that with us, and, we had fun. We were talking about what the kids want to do for their birthdays, as this year they've got milestones. So Emiliana's going to turn 13 and Zach is going to turn 10. So double digits and teenager on our hands. So they were telling us what they want to do for their birthday. Not shy of 3 parties each. Can you just imagine 3 parties? I'm just like, gone are the days, unfortunately, of one. We used to have sort of festival parties when the kids were younger, literally like festivals. There was one birthday actually when Ben and I made an ice cream van out of cardboard and painted it, and it was kind of on the floor. So we cut a little window out, and towards the end of the party, we got all the ice cream and all the kind of the cones and the flakes and everything, and we stood behind this little cardboard cutout with the little window. No, we didn't stand. I had to kneel because it was small, because the kids were only 3, and they all lined up. It's so cute, and we gave them ice creams from the ice cream van. So we do go all out for their birthdays, and I kind of miss that. But they want 3 parties, and you can't do 3 big parties, so it's probably going to be 3 small ones. But the point that I'm trying to make is that when you embark on a DIY project, you totally take away any time that you're going to spend with a family. And it's not just DIY, but this kind of comes into the self-guilt, which again is on another podcast that we've talked about, where if there is something that you love to do and it takes place over the weekend, there's always a sacrifice to be made, isn't there? And if you have children, unfortunately, that sacrifice is not spending time with them. And through doing this DIY work over the weekend, I must admit, I started to feel a bit sad, because we have taken years to do our house. So we haven't done it, continuously, but it has taken a long time. And there was probably a year where it was continuous. And I feel a bit sad looking back, because as I've said, the kids are getting older now, and it's like, we'll never get that year back. I mean, they were younger and they were more up for kind of hanging out and playing with us in the garden while we were working, but I do feel a bit bad. Like, we won't get that time back. And I just think that time is one of those things that you really need to think about. And as you get older, I do think that we become a bit more selective about how we spend our time. Like, I haven't seen my siblings. My sister just got back from holiday. Haven't spent time with my parents, with the kids, with Ben. We haven't done anything. I know it's only 3 days and maybe we are being a bit over the top, but I guess, like I said, these bank holidays are just few and far between. I think this is a good time, excuse the pun, to say this quote. Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Once you've lost it, you can't get it back. So use it wisely. I think that sums it all up, really, doesn't it? But the problem with time is that you want it to last a lot longer. You want to be able to have a weekend of DIY, but then also have the energy and time to spend with your children. You want to be able to get the laundry done and also cook a nice meal, but you just can't do it all. And I think the most important thing is to just pick what you want to do and use your time as wisely as you can, and just don't spend it on doing things that aren't important, or spending time with people who aren't important, essentially. Just spend your time with people you love, people that make you feel good. What me and my best friends always say whenever we hang out is that they're good for the soul. And if you have people like that in your life, you'll know what I mean. When you spend time with certain people, you come home and your soul just feels like full up. It feels enriched. It feels bursting, inside. And those people, those are the ones you want to spend time with. You want to just always feel like that, It is a really comforting, warming feeling. We all want time to last longer, and the only way that we can make time feel longer is to focus on present moment awareness, embracing new experiences and limiting distractions. So just by prioritizing activities that engage your mind and create new memories while avoiding monotonous routines and excessive screen time. I need a bit of excessive screen time after doing DIY, I have to admit, because my body is just battered and I just need to just sit in one place and watch some rubbish on TV because it just makes me feel good. But during the build and just as time has evolved, I've been really trying not to say no to my kids. Like, whenever someone asks you, oh, mum, can you come and have a look at this? Or, babe, can I ask you something? Like, I'm trying to stop saying I'm busy. And I'm trying to stop saying, oh, give me 2 minutes, because 2 minutes turns into 10 minutes. Like, Zach started counting now. He's like, Mommy, I'm counting. And I'm like, oh my God. So I've been trying to say yes, like no matter how tired I am, even if I've just sat down, I'm really trying to say yes, because I just want to enjoy as many of these moments as possible. I think every so often we need to do a bit of a time audit. We need to analyze how we actually spend our time each day and try to identify areas where you can be more efficient and make the most of your days. I mean, I definitely think that when you're a busy person, you can kind of get into this routine, but is it actually the most efficient? Like for me, I try to sort of have my dinner ready in the morning. Like literally, I feel like for me on those days, that is when I'm most efficient, because when the kids come home from school, I can just be there for them. Even while the kids are doing their work, I can sit, I can read a book, or I can do stuff on my phone if I need to order stuff or work, but it means that I'm there with them, next to them, and not just cooking. So for me, I definitely would say my most efficient day is literally cooking in the morning. And when I'm cooking a curry, that ain't great, because we've got curry smells going through the house at 9-10 in the morning, but it's done and dusted. And I can't wait till this bathroom is done and dusted. Not long to go now, and it will be done, and I'm really looking forward to enjoying it. If you would like to be in the loop about our renovation, or if you do like watching and seeing sort of where we're going with it, you can check us out on the Flip Flop Prop Instagram page. We've got stories on there, we've got reels, got loads of videos about what we're doing. Ben totally exposed me this weekend. I was listening to the Flip Flop Family podcast Song of the Week playlist from Spotify, and I was singing to Sade By Your Side, which is one of the songs on there, and he filmed me and put it on Instagram. So that's the kind of husband I have. But I guess it was funny, and you know what, if you can't sing and listen to music while you're working, then it is a very boring process. The song of the week this week is a song by Mark Ronson. It's called Late Night Feelings, and this song, it makes me feel like high, if you know what I mean. Like if you turn it on really loud and just kind of close your eyes and dance, it just takes you somewhere. It's a bit trippy, I would say. Have a listen to it, Late Night Feelings by Mark Ronson. And you can find all the songs that we do mention on our podcast on the Flip Flop Family podcast Song of the Week playlist, which I just mentioned on Spotify, but it's now also on Apple. So for our Apple listeners, big thank you to my bestie there for sorting that out. But make sure you have a listen on Apple or on Spotify. It has all the songs that we mentioned, and I must admit, I really enjoy the playlist. That's what I listen to when I'm doing my DIY. What we watched this weekend was it's old school. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective with Jim Carrey. He's so funny and timeless, and we just like to get the kids in to watch all those things that we used to watch when we were younger. So that's what we watched this weekend. The Game Changer, oh my gosh. I think it was my sister actually that introduced me to this one. It's Elizabeth Arden and her 8-hour cream. It's this white tube, it has a red lid, and don't get confused because there are lots of different Elizabeth Arden creams, but this is the 8-hour cream. It's really thick. It's a bit like a really thick Vaseline, but it's a bit more sort of yellowy orangey colour, and it is amazing for any dry skin, cracked, chapped lips, it lasts for ages and you only need a tiny bit. So yes, it is expensive, but it goes a long way. Like I've been using it on my kids since they were little, and I had to pull it out of the drawer this weekend because my hands resembled a smooth sandpaper. It wasn't good, yes. After doing this work, because we were using a wet saw, I had to take my gloves off, and all that tile adhesive on my hands, I can actually feel it. You probably hear it now, look. I don't know if you could hear that on the mic, but I was rubbing my hands together. But it has got a bit better because I've been using the 8-hour cream at night, and even when I wake up, I've been putting it back on my hands because I just hate rough skin. So try it out. Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream, a total game changer for us. My dish of the week has got to be, I mentioned these before as well, Emiliana's cinnamon roll pancakes. I actually totally forgot to get the recipe off her, so I will, and I'll put it on the Flip Flop Family kitchen page. She normally makes sort of old-fashioned pancakes, but she wanted to do something different, and they were really yummy, really, really yummy. So cinnamon roll pancakes. And lastly, my savvy tip of the week is all about electricals. We've already mentioned Apple. We're giving Apple a bit of airplay today, aren't we? But there's a way to get a good discount on electricals at Apple, and that is because they're doing a trade-in. So you can get rid of your unwanted electrical items, even like giant old printers, and you know we all have those lying around our house. Anything that you have, whether it works or doesn't work, you can get 10% off at Apple for an accessory. So it's happening until the 16th of May, which is actually my birthday, I'll have you know. Go online, just literally type in Apple trade-in into Google, and you'll be able to value your electrical item that you want to trade in. So if you've got your eye on an Apple item that you want, now is the time to buy it. Go ahead, use my savvy tip of the week. Thank you so much for listening to the Flip Flop Family podcast. It's always a delight for me to talk to you, and I hope it's been delightful for you to listen to me. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, we release 2 episodes every single week, and you can find us across all streaming platforms. If you are an Apple listener, you can click the little tick at the top and it will let you know every time we release an episode. And if you are on Spotify, you can click the little ring bell and it will tell you. And it's quite nice because, you know, whenever we release an episode, it just pops up in your notifications and you can just click it and have a listen. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.